Ladies and gentlemen, we've all been there, feeling the sting when someone close to us causes pain. It's a universal experience. But what makes us strong is how we choose to respond. So today, I want to share 5 powerful ways to handle those moments when people hurt you, not to dwell in the pain, but to rise above it with grace and strength. When someone hurts you, the first and most important step is to acknowledge your feelings. Too often, we are taught to push pain aside, to be strong, or to pretend that what we feel isn't important. But the truth is, your feelings are the language of your soul. They are the honest response to what has happened inside you. When you deny or ignore them, you create a wall between yourself and healing. It's okay to feel hurt, disappointed, angry, or confused. These emotions are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are human, that you have a heart that cares deeply. When you face your feelings head on, you give yourself the chance to understand what has truly impacted you. This understanding is the foundation of emotional freedom. Many people try to rush through the pain because it feels uncomfortable, but avoiding feelings only buries the problem deeper. Imagine trying to sweep dust under a rug. It doesn't disappear, it just hides, waiting to be stirred up again. When you acknowledge your feelings, you bring them into the light, where they can be examined and released. To acknowledge your feelings is to give yourself permission to be real. It means saying, "This hurts me, and that's okay." It means not judging yourself for feeling sad or hurt. When you accept your emotions without shame or blame, you cultivate compassion toward yourself, a crucial step in healing. Sometimes acknowledging feelings means sitting quietly with them without distractions or explanations. It may mean journaling your thoughts or speaking aloud to yourself or a trusted friend. This practice creates space for your emotions to breathe rather than being trapped and tangled inside your mind. You might find that your feelings change or evolve as you acknowledge them. What starts as anger may soften into sadness, or confusion might clear into understanding. This shifting is a natural part of the emotional process. It shows that your heart is moving forward, learning to process what has happened. Recognizing your feelings also helps you avoid acting out in ways that hurt yourself or others. When you understand the root of your pain, you can respond with intention rather than reacting impulsively. This awareness is a gift you give yourself that keeps you connected to your strength and dignity. Acknowledging your feelings doesn't mean you are defined by them. It means you honor them as part of your experience while holding the power to move beyond them when you're ready. It's the first step in transforming pain into growth. Setting healthy boundaries is one of the most important acts of self-respect you can practice, especially when someone has hurt you. Boundaries are not about pushing people away or building walls. They are about defining where your comfort and safety begin. When you set boundaries, you are telling yourself and others that your well-being matters. Many of us struggle with boundaries because we fear disappointing others or being seen as too sensitive. But here's the truth. Boundaries protect your peace and create the space you need to heal. They are an essential form of self-care. When you honor your limits, you teach others how to treat you with respect. Boundaries can take many forms. It might mean saying no to a conversation that feels harmful or stepping away from a relationship that repeatedly brings pain. It could be as simple as asking for time alone or refusing to engage in gossip. Each boundary you set is a declaration that you value your emotional health. It's important to remember that setting boundaries doesn't mean you have to explain or justify your choices. You don't owe anyone an elaborate reason for protecting yourself. Saying, "I need space," or "that's not okay with me," is enough. Your feelings and comfort are valid without explanation. When you set clear boundaries, you also create room for healthier relationships to grow. People who truly care about you will respect your limits, even if it takes time for them to adjust. Those who don't respect your boundaries reveal their true colors, and that clarity is a gift. It helps you decide who deserves your energy. At first, setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable or even scary because it may challenge old patterns or expectations. You might worry about conflict or rejection. But over time, you'll find that boundaries bring a sense of freedom and control that far outweighs the temporary discomfort. Boundaries also empower you to focus on your own growth and happiness. Instead of being drained by toxic interactions, you preserve your energy for what nurtures your spirit. You create a safe container for your healing to take place, one that honors your worth and dignity. Learning to set healthy boundaries is a practice. It takes patience, courage, and sometimes trial and error. But every time you stand up for yourself, you grow stronger and clearer about what you deserve. You build a life that reflects your true self, rooted in respect and love. Practicing forgiveness is one of the most profound gifts you can give yourself after someone has hurt you. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing what happened. It doesn't mean you have to reconcile with the person who caused the pain. Instead, it's about releasing the heavy burden of bitterness and anger that keeps you trapped. When you hold on to resentment, it's like carrying a weight that only slows you down. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks that weight, freeing you to move forward with a lighter heart. It's not about the other person. It's about reclaiming your own peace and power. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as a one-time event, but in reality, it's a process. It might take days, weeks, or even years to fully forgive. Some days you might feel close to letting go, and other days the hurt might feel fresh again. That's okay. Being gentle with yourself during this journey is essential. Choosing forgiveness is a radical act of self-love. It says, "I refuse to let pain define me." It's an affirmation that your happiness and healing are more important than holding on to the past. Forgiveness opens the door to your own emotional freedom, allowing space for joy and peace to return. You may find that forgiveness changes the way you see the person who hurt you. Not to justify their actions, but to understand that everyone is human and imperfect. This perspective doesn't erase the hurt, but it softens the grip of anger and helps you let go of the desire for revenge. It's important to remember that forgiveness is for you, not for them. You don't owe anyone forgiveness if you're not ready. But when you do choose to forgive, it empowers you to break free from the cycle of pain and bitterness that keeps you stuck in the past. Forgiveness can also be a form of healing that allows your heart to open again. It creates space for compassion, not just for others, but for yourself as well. It reminds you that you deserve peace regardless of what you've endured. Finally, practicing forgiveness is a step toward reclaiming your power. Instead of being controlled by the hurt or by those who caused it, you take back control over your emotions and your life. It's a courageous act that leads to lasting freedom and wholeness. When someone hurts you, it's natural to want to retreat and feel defeated. But one of the most powerful responses you can have is to focus on self-growth. This means using the pain as a catalyst to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Instead of letting hurt define you, allow it to refine you. Self-growth begins with a mindset shift, from seeing yourself as a victim to seeing yourself as a survivor and a learner. Every challenge you face offers an opportunity to discover something new about your strength, your values, and your potential. Pain can be a tough teacher, but it is also one of the most honest. Growth requires self-reflection. Take time to look inward and ask yourself what this experience is teaching you. Are there patterns you notice? Are there ways you want to change or improve? These questions are not about blaming yourself, but about empowering yourself to create a better future. Investing in self-growth means prioritizing your mental, emotional, and physical health. It might mean adopting new habits like meditation, journaling, or exercise. It could also mean seeking knowledge through books, courses, or mentorship. Every step you take to nurture yourself is a step toward transformation. As you focus on growth, you also cultivate resilience. Resilience is not about never feeling pain or falling down. It's about how you get back up and keep moving forward. Each time you face hardship and choose growth, you build an inner strength that no one can take away. Self-growth encourages you to set new goals and dreams that align with who you truly are. Sometimes being hurt shakes us awake to the things that really matter. It invites us to reimagine our lives with greater clarity and purpose, guided by the wisdom gained from pain. Surrounding yourself with positive influences supports your growth journey. Seek out people who inspire you, challenge you, and believe in your potential. Connection and encouragement from others can fuel your motivation and remind you that you are not alone. Remember, growth is a lifelong journey. It doesn't mean you have to have everything figured out right away. What matters is your commitment to keep learning, evolving, and becoming the best version of yourself, even in the face of hurt. When you've been hurt by someone, it's easy to feel isolated, like you have to carry the weight all by yourself. But healing doesn't happen in a vacuum. One of the most important things you can do is to seek support and connection. Reaching out to others reminds you that you are not alone and that there is strength in community. Support can come in many forms: friends, family, mentors, therapists, or support groups. These people offer a safe space where you can share your story without judgment. Sometimes just being heard is a powerful step toward healing. It validates your experience and helps you process your emotions. Connection reminds us of our shared humanity. When you connect with others, you realize that pain, struggle, and healing are universal experiences. This understanding can bring comfort and perspective. It breaks down the walls of loneliness and builds bridges of empathy and compassion. Seeking support also helps you gain insight and guidance. People who care about you can offer advice, encouragement, or simply a listening ear when you need it most. They can remind you of your strengths when you forget and hold space for your vulnerability. It's important to be intentional about the connections you cultivate. Surround yourself with those who uplift and respect you, not those who drain your energy or dismiss your feelings. Healthy relationships nourish your soul and create a foundation where healing can grow. Sometimes seeking connection means asking for professional help. Therapists and counselors are trained to walk with you through pain and teach you tools to cope and grow. There's no shame in reaching out for this kind of support. It's an act of courage and self-care. Connection is also about giving back. When you share your story or support others who are hurting, it creates a cycle of healing. Helping someone else can reinforce your own strength and remind you of the power of resilience. Ultimately, support and connection are vital lifelines on the path to recovery. They remind you that while pain may be personal, healing is often a collective journey that thrives on love, understanding, and companionship. Embracing empowerment begins with the understanding that you are not powerless, even when others have hurt you. The pain you've experienced does not define you. What defines you is how you choose to respond. Empowerment means taking back the control over your life and your story, no matter what has happened. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeing yourself as a victim, but true empowerment comes when you shift that mindset. You recognize that while you cannot control other people's actions, you can control your reaction. This realization opens the door to freedom, a freedom rooted in your ability to choose your own path forward. Empowerment requires owning your voice. Speak your truth, even when it feels vulnerable or uncomfortable. When you share your story with honesty and courage, you reclaim your narrative from those who try to diminish it. Your voice is powerful. It is a tool for healing and transformation. Taking empowered action means setting intentions and making decisions that align with your highest good. It could be as simple as deciding not to engage in negativity, or as bold as walking away from relationships that no longer serve you. Every choice you make in favor of your well-being is an act of empowerment. Empowerment also invites you to trust yourself. Trust that you have the strength, wisdom, and resilience to navigate challenges. Trust that you can create a life filled with joy, peace, and purpose. This self-trust is a cornerstone of your inner power. Sometimes embracing empowerment means forgiving yourself for any mistakes you feel you've made. It's about releasing self-blame and embracing compassion for your own journey. When you are kind to yourself, you reinforce the belief that you are worthy of love and respect. Surround yourself with people who uplift your spirit and support your empowerment. The company you keep can either fuel your confidence or chip away at it. Seek those who believe in your potential and encourage you to step into your power fully. Finally, empowerment is a lifelong practice. It requires daily recommitment to your values, your boundaries, and your dreams. Each time you stand tall in your truth, you grow stronger. Each time you choose empowerment, you rewrite the story of your life with courage and grace.